Jade stood at the threshold of her new life, heart pounding as the heavy gates clanged shut behind her. The metallic echo reverberated through the stark, gray hallway, a chilling reminder of her captivity. As she took her first shaky steps deeper into the prison, dread wrapped around her like a cold shroud. But amid the gloom, her determination flickered like a fragile flame. She pulled out her diary, the one connection to the outside world, and began to write about her hopes and fears. In the dim light of the cell block, Jade encountered fellow inmates, their eyes holding stories of their own. She quickly met Eddie, whose quiet wisdom drew her in, and Maria, whose fierce love for her children radiated even in despair. These first encounters revealed the complex tapestry of lives bound by circumstance, weaving threads of shared pain and resilience that would soon intertwine with her own story. As Jade settles into her new reality, the stark walls of the prison weigh heavily on her. The fear of the unknown gnaws at her soul, yet she clings to the flickering hope that perhaps this place could offer a chance for change. On her first day, she encounters Eddie, a tall man with weary eyes that speak volumes. His gentle demeanor contrasts sharply with the tough environment, and they share glances filled with unspoken understanding. Not far away, Maria clasps her hands tightly, often gazing out the small barred window as she recounts her memories of laughter and love with her children. In these initial moments, Jade feels a mix of isolation and connection. Each inmate is a mosaic of stories that intertwine with her own. As the days unfold, Jade realizes that behind the steel bars, she may just find a family forged through shared struggles and unlikely friendships. As Jade settled into her new reality, the starkness of her surroundings began to sink in, but she found solace in the untold stories of her fellow inmates. Eddie, a former teacher, was often lost in thought. He spoke of the moments when he had poured his heart into lessons and the fateful error that unraveled his life. Through his reflections, he challenged the narrative of crime and guilt, emphasizing the societal pressures that conspired against him. Maria, a fiercely devoted mother, clutched her tattered photographs, each image a reminder of the family she yearned to protect. Her resolve was unyielding, as she narrated her struggles to keep her children close despite the miles and walls that separated them. Their stories intertwined with Jade's, crafting a tapestry of hardship and hope, igniting a flicker of resilience within the dreary confines of the prison. Each voice echoed the complex dance between regret and yearning for redemption just beneath the iron bars. As the days turned into weeks, the cold sterility of the prison walls began to thaw, nurtured by unlikely friendships. Jade found herself sharing time with Liam, a fighter etched with tattoos and tales of gang life. Amid the harshness of their reality, a shared passion for art sparked an unexpected bond. One afternoon, with the sun filtering through grimy windows, they huddled over a scrap of paper, sketching plans for a mural that would breathe life into the drab surroundings. Liam's fierce energy complemented Jade's gentleness, and their laughter echoed within the confines, creating a warmth that the steel bars could not contain. As they gathered more inmates to join in, the idea transformed into a collective creative endeavor, offering a sense of purpose. With each brushstroke, they began to reshape not just the wall, but their lives, proving that beauty could emerge even in the bleakest spaces, an act of rebellion against despair. The air within the prison transformed as the mural project commenced, breathing life into the drab walls that had long absorbed only despair. Jade stood alongside Liam, paintbrush in hand, finding solace in the vibrant colors they splashed across the concrete canvas. Each stroke became a cathartic release, reminiscent of her days painting in the sun. Soon, other inmates joined in, their laughter echoing through the corridor as they shared stories of dreams long tucked away. With each hue, a sense of hope blossomed, weaving threads of connection among them. It was no longer just about the artwork, it was about reclaiming their identities, one stroke at a time. Eddie observed this shift, impressed by how creativity could mend fractured spirits. As the mural took shape, it reflected not only their struggles, but also the resilience of their collective spirit. In that moment, they realized that healing was possible, even within iron bars. As Jade picked up her pen, the solitude of her cell deepened. She often found herself lost in thoughts of the outside world, but today was different. Nina, an inmate known for her guarded demeanor, had finally decided to share her story during group time. The sound of Nina's voice cut through the usual chatter, revealing the layers of pain she carried. "Before this place, I lived in a jungle of fear," Nina confessed, every word weighted with past anguish. She spoke of survival on the streets, of choices made in desperation, and the violence that followed. The room fell silent, the weight of her honesty washing over the others, creating a bond that transcended their circumstances. Jade could feel the empathy swelling in the room. They were no longer defined solely by their mistakes. The rawness of Nina's tale sparked something within them. It was a call to recognize their shared humanity, setting the stage for healing and understanding. As the days continued to blend into one another, Eddie felt a spark of purpose igniting within him. Each morning, when the sun's light seeped through the barred windows, he planned his literacy classes, hoping to offer a glimmer of hope to his fellow inmates. The first session was met with wary glances, but as he guided them through the first words and letters, the atmosphere shifted. Laughter interrupted the silence, and hesitant hands began to scribble down their thoughts and dreams. Eddie discovered that many of them had stories to share, buried beneath the weight of their regrets. With each lesson, he witnessed transformations. Hesitant voices grew stronger as inmates began to take ownership of their narratives. This newfound interest in education brought a sense of community, reminding everyone that the journey to redemption was not solely about leaving prison, but about reclaiming their identities long before they stepped beyond those iron bars. Maria stood at the front of the small, dimly lit room, her heart pounding as the inmates filed in. Each face told a story of loss, regret, and an underlying hope. This was the moment she had envisioned, the launching of a support group for mothers like her, struggling to bridge the divide between their past mistakes and the lives of the children they loved. As she shared her own experiences, vulnerability filled the space. Each woman took turns, their voices trembling yet strong, recounting the challenges of parenting from behind bars, birthdays missed, milestones unseen, and the fear of being forgotten. Tears mingled with laughter as they forged connections, realizing they weren't alone in their struggles. The room transformed. What began as a gathering of solitary souls morphed into a sanctuary of shared courage and understanding. As the session concluded, Maria felt an electrifying sense of purpose. Together, they were not just surviving, they were igniting a flame of resilience and hope. As Jade's mural began to attract attention from both inmates and prison staff, the vibrant colors transformed not just the wall, but the very atmosphere within the confines of the prison. Her passion for art inspired others to express their feelings, pain, hope, and dreams through their own sketches and paintings. Intrigued by the new wave of creativity, Eddie encouraged his students to consider how art could serve as a voice for their experiences. The conversations stirred by the mural shifted from apprehension to excitement, igniting a collective yearning for an official art program. Maria, seeing the joy it brought her friends, envisioned utilizing art to bridge gaps between herself and her children. Together, the inmates' voices swirled around them like brushstrokes on canvas, emerging as a tapestry of resilience and transformation. In this unexpected bloom of creativity, they found a purpose, a long-awaited promise of hope blooming within the stark walls of their reality. As the echoing clanks of the prison doors fade into the background, the atmosphere inside shifts. In the common area, Jade finds herself sat quietly among her fellow inmates, sharing moments of vulnerability that lay bare their inner demons. Liam, usually the stoic fighter, recounts the fear that grips him when he thinks of the world outside, of judgment and scorn. Maria opens up about the guilt that festers deep within her, fearing that her mistakes may cost her the bond with her children forever. Eddie, too, wrestles with his past as he confronts the truth of his choices, speaking of the longing to make amends. As the conversation deepens, their shared confessions cultivate an unexpected courage among them. They realize that facing their fears together in this circle of trust can be a powerful step toward healing. The room hums with sincerity, a testament to their evolving spirit, and the journey toward redemption continues to bloom against the stark backdrop of confinement. As the seasons changed, so did the atmosphere within the prison walls, reflecting a sense of growth among its inhabitants. The air was thick with anticipation, laced with both hope and anxiety about the impending release for some of the inmates. Jade noticed the way the sunlight filtered through the barred windows, casting patterns that danced on the cold concrete floor, mirroring the transformation taking place within her and her friends. Conversations among the inmates shifted from daily routines to dreams of freedom, igniting a palpable sense of camaraderie. They began sharing plans for their lives outside, voicing aspirations they once thought were lost. Eddie's literacy classes flourished, empowering others to embrace education as a means of change. In this blossoming community, individuals who once stood isolated now found strength in vulnerability, revealing their deepest fears and desires, united by a common journey towards redemption and the promise of new beginnings. As the days dwindle and their release dates approach, the atmosphere within the prison shifts, charged with a mix of hope and anxiety. Jade can feel the electric tension in the air as whispered conversations echo through the hallways. Inmates gather in small groups, discussing their thoughts on freedom, each with their own visions for the future. Eddie leads discussions about the skills they've learned and the importance of staying focused as they transition. Maria's parenting group becomes a safe haven, filled with tender stories of love and loss, intertwined with fears of what lies ahead. The uncertainty of reintegrating into a world that feels foreign looms large. Jade reflects on how life outside might look, grappling with the fear of failure, but clinging to the hope that change is possible. Amidst these emotions, the bonds they've forged provide comfort, reminding them that they carry a piece of each other into their new beginnings. As the days turned into weeks, the stark realities of prison life were softened by the bonds that had flourished within these concrete walls. Jade often found herself reflecting on the friends she had made, each one a testament to resilience and strength. In the dimly lit common area, laughter echoed as Eddie shared anecdotes from his teaching days, while Maria recounted heartwarming stories about her children. They leaned on one another, creating a tapestry of friendship woven from shared experiences and unfulfilled dreams. Even Liam, with his hardened exterior, opened up, revealing vulnerabilities that surprised them all. Together they navigated the uncertainties of impending freedom, discussing hopes and fears in hushed tones during the evening hours. There was magic in their solidarity, a sense of hope that transcended their pasts. In this fragile sanctuary, they found strength in each other, standing united against both the shadows of their histories and the daunting future that awaited them.